communication. Many times, there are lots of things going in our mind. There are lots of inner noises deafening our ears, so we cannot hear really well. There are lots of emotions goes into our mind, then it blinds our eyes. And finally, communication is inside job, meaning that if I want to listen, I will listen. If I'm motivated really well, then I can hear it well. When I'm not motivated, when I'm not focusing on, then I'm not going to hear it. When you are hungry, you look for food. When you're not hungry, even a big biryani is not going to get you well. Meaning, when you're, for example, when you're really full in your stomach, how are you going to get it? How are you going to eat? You're not going to eat anything. Mostly when you're hungry, even a small sambar sadham will do really well. So all that means that, my dear friends, that am I hungry? Am I starving to get the communication? If I am hungry, I will get it. If I'm not, nothing, even the big biryani is not going to make me, give me a good appetite so that I can eat it. So, simply said, when we are lazy, when you are not motivated, any good communication does not reach our ears. மல்லாக்கா படுத்திருக்கவனுக்கு மலேசியாவுக்கு வழி சொல்ல வேண்டிய அவசியமே கிடையாது. You understand? Scientific term. So that means that if you're lying down and not motivated, whatever somebody is going to give you instructions, somebody going to give you a motivation, it doesn't reach in our mind and never going to understand. Finally, my dear folks, that I want to give you, mostly the biggest barrier of communication is ourselves. And we are the barriers of our communication. And that's why I told you before, not that there is a miscommunication, that always I miss my communication because of my own individual dispositions, my psychological feelings, my emotions, and where you live, and how we live, and how do we take our life. Finally, it's always, communications are all about knowing yourself. How do you remove this barrier? How can I have effective communication? It is not eloquence of knowledge and language is good, little bit. Language is not the only factor to have effective communication. Many people communicate with the emotions. And lots of communication, effective communication always happens in non-verbal communication rather than with the eloquence of knowledge, the eloquence of various language skills. So language skills is important. Of course, the language is important for communication. I'm not saying that it is underestimating it, but how do I receive the communication? Okay. Now, people are always interested in giving communication. Like I'm interested in teaching you and trying to tell you something. More than giving communication, receiving communication is an important part of communication. We all good preachers. We all want to talk to. Sometimes we love to hear ourselves talking. And some people are non-stop talkers, and even myself. So talking is not communication. Receiving is the communication. That's why I wanted to focus on that, how well I can receive communication. And you and I need to focus on what are those barriers of communication. Many information come to this world today. I mean, many information we get through the internet. Now, you know what? You live in the world of information. And you are really fortunate in the high-tech world, in a Google world and technology. All the information is available. Can I get it all? Can I get all of them in my brain, in my mind? No. The more you are able to, more you're calm, more you are yourself disposed yourself, then you can get those information in your mind. So that's why he said, we need to ask the question, am I ready for communication? Do I know myself? Socrates, one of the great philosophers, who said that, know, know thyself. So know thyself means know yourself. Do I know myself? Most of the time, I don't know. Most of the time, we don't know who we are. What are the emotions? What are the weaknesses? What are the strengths? And we all need to know what are my strengths and what are my weaknesses. And once we know ourselves really well, then we are able to remove the barriers of our emotional barriers, psychological barriers, and then we can get effective communication. The communication reach us. So anyway, anytime, again, as I said, effective communication depends on how much you know yourself. And finally, I want to focus on the effective communication reaches us only through the heart we have. People talk about art of communication. I always talk about the heart of communication, art or heart. So when I have a heart to understand, I will understand. So the greatest art of communication always comes from my heart. You follow me? The greatest art of communication comes to me only through my heart. When I have a heart of compassion. So, for example, if you want to understand your mom and dad, you need a heart of compassion. So, if I have a heart of communication and there's a compassion, then there is an understanding comes in. Anyway, my dear folks, all that means is all our communication all about ourselves. How well we can listen to other people, how effectively we can listen to other people always depends upon how do I know myself. Finally, let us always understand there's nothing called miscommunication. I missed my communication and remove the barriers of those barriers of emotional barriers or your limitations of your preoccupations, then the communication we receive will come to us. Thank you. Enough? Any questions?
Any question would you like to ask to sir with regarding to the communication he was talking about? No? Get back the video. We'll give you back the feedback. We'll give you back the feedback later because we are already prepared for the next session. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. Wonderful. Take care.
So,
okay, bye. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Have a nice day. And now my time is going to be 12 o'clock in the night.
So lovely. The session
so
was...
it's 12 o'clock night. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So it was so wonderful that you listen to the American accent, how these people speak in America. So now we start the second session with Professor Dr. Lal from Kerala University. May I humbly request sir to be on the board. And with our senior staff, Dr. Ramesh, our English trainer, Philo ma'am, and the person who is going to introduce Divya Tanga, and Vijamon sir, our HODs. Please, sir.
Good morning, everyone. I am really delighted to introduce the eminent speaker, Dr. C.A. Lal, Professor, Institute of English, University of Kerala. A proud academician, he has conducted many workshops in Nelta Conference, Kathmandu, Ukrikand in Indonesia, and Busan, South Korea. He is the general editor in BEK Research, University of Kerala. He is also an active member in the review committee Journal of English. He has to his credit several awards. Salute the Silent Worker Award, Eltai Haumbi Trust Award for the use of ICT in education. He has authored a number of books and published several papers. He is also the guide and research supervisor for research scholars. He has gone to a number of colleges and universities abroad on academic visits. Sky is not the limit for this great person. Now I request Dr. Lal to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Can you hear me? A very good morning to all of you. So again, good morning. I drove here today from my home in Trivandrum. So everybody can see me? Yeah, because there's quite a bright light in front, so I cannot actually see you very clearly. So, well, interestingly, I came here thinking it was my mistake. Dr. Amal had, yes? Yeah. Dr. Amal had told me more than a month back that I will be meeting students, but somehow I decided that it was teachers I'll be talking to, okay? And what I did was I planned a 1-hour talk for teachers with an elaborate PowerPoint. It is about teaching grammar, teaching vocabulary, teaching pronunciation, etc. So when I came here, I see that 99.9% people on the stage are students, which is a very happy thing. I like talking to students much more than talking to teachers. So what I did was I decided not to use my PowerPoint, and I am going to talk to you a few things which I had not planned before, but which I plan now. Okay? Everybody understand me? Happy? You all had pongal in the morning? Yeah. Well, I had doshas in the morning. I like pongal though. What do you have for breakfast usually? Dosha, idli. How many of you had pongal in the morning? Not many, because whenever I come down from Trivandrum to Tamil Nadu, I'll try to eat pongal because that is something I like, which we don't get in Trivandrum, Kerala. Anyway, we are all BTech students. You are all BTech students? What do you study? Okay, it's a degree course. Okay, which year are you in? All of you are final year. Excellent. So it's like what about the other side? You ladies? You are all arts and science students? Fantastic. So, you are the right kind of people I want to talk to. So not them, all of you. Science here, arts there, technology here, etc. So you are all in college, and in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you will be going out to the world, you will be starting to work. So, that is where this problem with communication comes in. So I am not going to talk about communication. I am going to talk a few things about learning English. We all know English? You understand what I'm saying? That means you all understand English, means you know English very well. Okay. So how many of you think you have problems with grammar? Can you put your hands up? Do you have problem with English grammar? Can I see hands? So only one lady has a problem with grammar. Others are all pundits. அப்படியா? எல்லாருக்குமே இந்த grammar நல்லா தெரியுமா? But then why didn't I see hands? Grammar எனக்கு problem. Put your hand up. Yes. Oh, thank you. I'm going to convert you. See, grammar is a problem. It depends on what you understand by the word grammar. Okay, the word grammar. What does the word grammar mean? In school, have you studied grammar? English, yes. You have studied things like noun, adjective, verb, etc., and then tenses, conditional clauses, etc., subordinate clause, all that. Remember that? Yes. How many of you here have English as your subject? BA English? A few of you are there. That's also good. Well, so those ladies and gentlemen who have risen their hands are going to become English teachers sometimes, or some of them are going to use English for their job. Okay. So first thing I want to make very clear here is grammar is a word which is very misunderstood. Okay. When for example, my mother tongue is Malayalam. Tamil konjam ellam pesum, പക്ഷെ நல்லா பேச முடியாது. கேட்டா கொஞ்சம் மனசிலாகும், but not much. Okay. So you are all Tamil people, or how many of you are Malayalis here? There are two Malayali ladies here. Well, so you are two Malayalis. I am sure there are a couple of Malayalis around, and they are shy to tell me. Whether it is Tamil or Malayalam, if I ask you, do you know Tamil grammar very well, what will you say? You don't know Tamil? You don't know Tamil grammar? Yes or no? Yes. So but you don't, English grammar you have a problem. Okay? Do you have a problem with English grammar? Yeah, many of you raised your hands. So the thing is, there are different kinds of grammar. Okay. So I am a teacher, I am a researcher also. So the grammar I need to study is different from the grammar you should know. Okay. So the things like, some people, after they complete their graduation, they go out and study small courses to improve their English. Okay. So when they do that, they will study a lot of grammar as well. Like how to transform a sentence from active to passive, for example. How to write an indirect sentence. How to change a sentence from simple to complex, etc. You are familiar with these things? Yeah. What I tell you is, you should not think of any of these. These are all meant for people who are specializing in English. A few ladies and gentlemen who said they are doing their UG in English have to worry about English grammar. We people, ordinary people, who are not going to be English specialists, don't have to think about English grammar at all. But then, the question I asked was, do you know Tamil grammar? And I did not really get a good answer, particularly because there's bright light in front, and I feel I'm in a studio, a film actor, Vijay. I think most of you would say that I don't know Tamil grammar. Or Malayalis, whenever I ask, they say I don't know the Malayalam grammar. Ungalku Malayalam grammar theriyuma? Theriyada theriyuma? The problem is, grammar enbadu enna? What is grammar? See, Tamil, you all speak Tamil very well. So beautiful. When you ask, you go to a shop and you ask for something. For example, you want to buy a 4 GB pen drive. In Tamil you ask, enaku oru 4 GB pen drive, see whatever. then, then கிடைக்குமா? Okay. And what will you get? He will give you a pen drive. Yeah. So you have made a sentence. எனக்கு 4 GB pen drive கிடைக்குமா, கொடுக்குமா, whatever. So if I go and say, I'll probably not get it because my Tamil is not right. So you said that sentence in Tamil. You have Tamil in your blood. You grew up learning Tamil or Malayalam, whatever. You learned, and it comes naturally for you. That means you are great scholars in Tamil grammar. If you did not know grammar, you wouldn't be able to speak Tamil or Malayalam at all. Okay. So we have to first understand that grammar is not the exercises in the grammar book. That's a different thing. You can learn it, you can do a lot of grammar exercises, you can write exams and pass them. That's a different domain. So studying that grammar will help you improve your memory, it will sharpen your brain, but that will not help your English. I don't know if you'll agree with me in that. Because when we want to study a language, we don't study its grammar as such. Now let us leave that. You are all Tamil people, and I come and ask you, what Tamil book should I read to improve my Tamil? So suppose I know to read, I know all the Tamil letters, and I come and ask you, what book would you suggest for me to improve my Tamil? What book? What would you suggest? Any answers? What about the Malayalis here? It's the same question asked. No, I want to study Malayalam. I know a little bit. I can read. What book shall I read to improve my Malayalam? What will be your suggestion? Which book would you suggest me? I know only the alphabet, the letters I know, and a few words I know, and I want to improve. What book would you suggest? Well, if you come and ask me, if you are a Tamil person knowing Malayalam letters, and you come and ask me, what shall I do to improve my Malayalam? I will say, step number 1, read children's book in Malayalam. Okay, so you know to read. So you read children's book, very, very basic books with only big pictures and a few sentences. So I would say you go and read that, and you will, I read that, and then after that maybe little picture books, picture stories, etc. And I will also ask you to go and listen to Malayalam stories, watch Malayalam movies, and listen to Malayalam songs. And I'll advise you that. You will also do that to me. But when somebody comes and asks you, what shall I do to improve my English? Often people say, you go and take a grammar book and do all the exercises. Don't you think it's a very silly thing to do? Yes or no? It is, whether you agree with me or not. Learning grammar is not the way to learn English. You all know English, so it's not a question of learning English, it's a question of improving our English. And it's also a question of being able to use our English for many, many purposes. Like you want to do a job, you attend a job interview, you get a job somewhere and you want to interact with people, you want to go abroad and then interact with somebody. Wherever you go in this world, English will help you, and you need to go on improving a lot. So the best way to learn grammar. So that's one thing about grammar that I want you to remember. Point number 1, grammar is not what you find in the grammar books. But what is grammar then? Grammar is hidden in the language. See, I am a living organism. That's why I'm standing and talking. So what helps me live? Oxygen helps me live. Where does this oxygen? I need oxygen in my brain. How do I get oxygen in my brain? What carries oxygen to my brain? My blood carries oxygen. So my heart is pumping, blood is running through my veins, arteries, from my tip of the toe and the top of the brain, blood is running. But am I aware of that? Do I feel this blood running? Can you feel your blood running all over your body? You cannot. You do not feel the blood flowing at all. Your heart is doing a lot. Heart is a very powerful pump. It is pumping blood. It's flowing all over body, but you don't feel it. So just like invisibly, without our knowing it, blood is running through our body, grammar is something that runs through the language and helps us use it. So don't believe that you can learn a language by learning its grammar. You know that you have not studied Tamil grammar from a grammar book, but you are excellent users of Tamil. That means you know considerable amount of Tamil grammar. So that is one point. When you go about with your studies, don't feel bad that you get low marks in a grammar test. But if you want to take a grammar test, if it is part of your syllabus, you need to work on that. It is very good. I know that even in the Union Public Service Commission exams, they have grammar, specific types of grammar questions that you have to prepare and write. But the point I want to make is that grammar is very different from the grammar that will help you to communicate with people in your life. So that is, this is a problem with how you describe the word grammar. Point number one. Point number two, people often ask me, ask teachers, English teachers, how do I improve my vocabulary? So what is vocabulary? What is vocabulary? Vocabulary is the words. The number of words that we know is called the vocabulary. So English vocabulary is the number of English words that you know. So very often we feel that can I have some water? Slowly, yeah. So if somebody, people often ask, I need, thank you. I hope I won't pour it into my shirt. Yeah. Thank you. I am hydrated. What do I mean by that? I feel hydrated. What do you mean by hydrate? Yeah, if you say that I hydrated my plants, normally people don't say that. But if you say that, what would you mean? I gave my plants some water. So hydrate is give water. Dehydrate is to remove water. So I was a bit dehydrated, and now I feel hydrated. So hydration, dehydration, hydrogen. All this is related to vocabulary. Vocabulary or words is an amazing area of interest. Yesterday I was talking to my students in the University of Kerala that I like having fun with words. And that is something that gives me a lot of happiness. So when I see a word, I tend to play with that word. I see how that word came to me and how it is pronounced and what are the related words, etc. That is something I'll go on doing for a long time now. So I've lived in this world for about 6 decades almost, and I plan to live for another 6 decades, so until I am 120. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with words. So as I was coming today, driving here, I was thinking of the word produce. And I was thinking how an American would pronounce it. We had an American scholar speaking to us. How is the word produce pronounced by Americans? Have you noticed it? Americans would produce it as produce. And reduce would be reduce. So reduce, produce, etc. So I was just telling you, I want to come to pronunciation a while later. So we are here at vocabulary. We talked about grammar a bit. We just talked about what is the kind of grammar that we need. Second thing, what is the grammar that you need in speaking English? You should be able to produce reasonably correct sentences and slightly complex sentences as well. So when you go for advanced studies, when you do your IELTS exam, for example, if you want to go abroad, when you take the TOEFL test, or you do a test, any international test in English, they look for correct sentences and sentences which have variety of expressions. You can say things in very simple manner. You can say things in very complicated manner. You can also say things in varied fashion. You can say the same thing. So, when you write something, when you write one idea in a sentence, the second sentence, when you write, maybe you will use a different kind of structure so that what you have written reads better. Okay. So in that, the point is very simple. Your knowledge of the language, as it advances, you will be able to produce more and more complex sentences. Complex is not the grammar complex compound. No, I was talking about complex in the sense that sentences which has dense meaning. Okay. So the language is used to express our ideas. Okay. So when our ideas are simple, the language we use also is simple. When our ideas become complex, the language also has to be complex. So that is one point, particularly now, when you are in the degree level, if you are studying your subject in English, you will need to use complex sentences, complex structures to convey complex ideas. So our need is to progressively improve our English knowledge so that we are able to use language better. So that is where I am keeping the grammar. Grammar is point one. Grammar is different from the grammar book. Grammar is different from the grammar tests and textbooks. We are interested in knowing how to put the words together and use it in speaking and writing. So let it be there. Secondly, vocabulary. Vocabulary means the words. So we already talked about putting words together. So that you need to know that you need to have a good knowledge of words. There are two things in this. One, you can speak excellently with limited knowledge of words. Even if you have only a limited knowledge of words, you can use it in such a way that you can communicate reasonably well. But again, our purpose is to communicate in a higher level. So, for example, a person who wants to sell something in a shop, I'll give you another good example. Air hostesses, people in the airplane who look after you when you are flying internationally, they all speak English. Okay. But and many of these air hostesses from countries like Philippines, for example, or Japan or Korea, China, etc., their knowledge of English is usually very, very limited. And same about the ladies and boys who serve in big hotels, international hotels. They won't be masters in English literature. They will have a very basic knowledge of English, but they will communicate very well with that. Limited vocabulary, but with confidence people use it because they don't have to use a large variety of sentences there. For example, if you are in an airplane, the things that you are likely to ask is, "Sir, would you need some water? Shall I bring you a napkin? And what would you like to have?" See, these are the basic things they are likely to do. They wouldn't have to make a speech about pulmonary thrombosis or the need for taking water regularly or need for regular exercise, etc. The complex ideas they don't have to use. They only have to use the basic simple ideas. So their English is a different class of English. But in your case, you are ladies and gentlemen who will need to use English for academic purposes as well. You will need it for communication. You will need it for academic purpose as well. So we have two aims like that. So when we talk about grammar and coming to vocabulary, you need to have sufficient vocabulary which will help you in your academic learning, to write things, to do research. We have here linguistic research. Even if it is not linguistic research, use of language in your research is an important thing. What you have written will become very impressive if you have a wide vocabulary. So vocabulary is important. Vocabulary has to be improved. So very often people ask, personally, many of my students are asking, what is a book for learning vocabulary? So any ideas? What is a book you would suggest if I want to improve my vocabulary? Would you suggest a dictionary? When I was in higher secondary school, that is +2, one of my teachers, he was not an English teacher, that is why, he was a history teacher. He decided to improve our vocabulary. So what he did was he brought a dictionary to the classroom and he began teaching from word number 1. So word number one was a aardvark. 2a, aardvark is an anteater kind of animal. Poor man, after 2 days he gave up. So he altogether taught us 5 or 6 words and he got tired. And that's because you don't learn words from a dictionary. Dictionary is not meant for that. As I was driving here, I was thinking, what is this brake there for? It was raining when I was driving and I was bored and there were many vehicles there. I was wondering, what is this brake doing there? So what is the brake meant for? I always thought unconsciously that the brake was there to stop the car. To stop, when I want to stop the car, I'll kick. Then I realized that I was repeatedly kicking the brake even when I don't want to stop. So what is the brake doing there? The brake is helping me to control the vehicle, to regulate it, to control, not to stop. To stop, even if I switch off the engine, also the car will stop. If the gear is locked, it will stop. So the brake is there not to stop, but to regulate. In the same way, the dictionary is not there not to teach you words, but to help you navigate through words. That is how you need to look at it. Because dictionaries are very useful, but dictionaries can also be a big nuisance. If you have the habit of checking every word in the dictionary, your reading, your use of language will be badly troubled. So dictionary is not the book for learning vocabulary. But it will help you. Just like the brake, it will help you. Yeah. So dictionary is only one small part. Like when you are driving a car, the brake is there. Just like that, the dictionary is there to help you in your learning of vocabulary. So vocabulary is a must that we know. We have agreed that we need a wide vocabulary in our life. So that's the dictionary. So vocabulary is there. And there are books like How to Improve Your Vocabulary, How to Increase Your Word Power. Have you seen books like that? Have you seen? There are many books in life which are very popular. Improve your word power in 30 days. So in 30 days, speak like an Englishman. All these are rubbish. People are trying to cheat you into buying books. Nobody can teach you vocabulary in 30 days because you never really stop learning. I am, as I was saying, I have been learning English for the last 50, how long have I been learning? Since I was in school. So it must be more than 50 years. Still, I haven't finished learning my vocabulary. I'll go on learning new words because new words keep coming. So we can never stop. So nobody can teach you vocabulary in 30 days. Okay. So vocabulary is there and no book can teach you vocabulary. But still, the question remains, how do we learn grammar and how do we learn vocabulary? Let them be there. Third thing is pronunciation, which is again something we neglect a lot. Well, this seems to be alive. This is moving. Okay. See, pronunciation. Are you able to understand what I say? More or less? Yes. Is it because I speak like an Englishman? You are able to understand me. Thank you for telling me that you do. Because I am speaking a kind of English that everybody would understand. So what do you want? How do you want your pronunciation to be? Do you want to have the pronunciation of a British scholar? Do you want the pronunciation of an American, well-educated American gentleman, or a New Zealander, or an Australian, or a Canadian? Is that the pronunciation that we want? No. The pronunciation we want is one that everybody will be able to understand. There are two things when you need to remember about pronunciation. One is people should be able to understand. So if I say something and the person doesn't understand, then there is no point in my speaking. So others should understand me. And another important thing is, even if he understands, if I speak in a language, that happens with Tamil. I'll give you a Tamil example. not specific example, but you know people speak different language in the village. People who are not very educated will speak a different kind of Tamil. Have you noticed that? Malayalam also like that. People who haven't gone to the college, gone to the school, will speak a very ordinary kind of Tamil, which is very okay. We understand that. We are proud of it. It's fine. But suppose you speak that kind of Tamil in a meeting, an important meeting, how will people understand you? Society has a habit of rating you, gauging you by the way you dress, by the way you stand, the way you behave, and the way you speak, the way you pronounce words. So in the society, you need to be respected. Not always. We do respect the people working in the farm. We do respect the people who work in the mills and all that. Fine. Their language is okay in that context. There they are respected. But we are again talking about a limited people in the society who are going out in the world finding jobs, and then if you have found them, wanting to keep them, and if you have kept a job, wanting a promotion, then your language has to be respectable. That is where the problem is. Society has different ways in which they look at respectability. Our mother, even if she speaks a very village kind of Tamil, we love her and we respect her, we do not question her. Or our grandma, it's fine. But in the society, when you go as an employee, as a worker, then society has a different norm. They would want you to speak an elegant kind of language. So that is part of our grooming. That is part of our grooming. However we say about equality, democracy, etc., when we come to a job area, there is a lot of competition and people look at you, assess you by the language you speak. So when it comes to pronunciation, we have two variables. One, whether you are understood and whether you are respected. So you need to keep that two things in mind. So in English, we have that aspect as well. The aspect called pronunciation, which we largely don't, give much attention to. So how do we combine all these three in our regular learning? We need to practice grammar. We need to improve our vocabulary. We need to improve our pronunciation. So I said only about pronunciation, but if you look at it in a broader way, what I meant is speaking. Practice in speaking. Do you all speak in English on a regular basis somewhere? Yes or no? Where do you speak English? Huh? In the college, you are supposed to use only English? Oh, that's very good. That's actually an excellent thing. So if that is there, if you are sure you are talking in English to your friends, one big problem is solved. You have an opportunity to practice English. So to speak better, the important thing is to have a lot of practice in English, which is happening. If it is happening, I am very happy with that. Now, so we'll leave speaking practice. Coming to pronunciation. What is the right pronunciation of English? What is the standard pronunciation of English? The answer is, there is no such standard. Okay? There is no such standard. Until say 30 years back, we used to say BBC English. We used to talk about the Queen's English. Now the Queen is dead, we should talk about the King's English. All those things are gone. The days when we thought the British was the ideal is gone. And then interestingly, we have more American English, as I was telling you, produce and reduce is there. And American English is coming in the movies, in the YouTube videos you might watch on a subject of interest to you, or a comedy show. You have a lot of American English coming in. So is it the American kind of English that we should be speaking? Or is there an English called Indian English? So there are people who say that there is a thing called Indian English. And in the 80s and 90s, there was an attempt to create an English called Indian English. It was called General Indian English. And people would say that I speak Indian English and I am proud of it. That's fine. The fact is, today, we are not only Indians. We are not only, we are not only Tamilians, we are not only Keralites, we are not only Indians, we are part of a big community. But the educated people in this world, not all of us out there, the educated people in this world are part of a large global community. You will be interacting with the global community for education and for job in the years to come. Therefore, your English is going to be neither Indian, nor British, nor Canadian, nor American. It is going to be international English. International English. Even in the British Broadcasting Company, BBC Corporation, there are people with different accents now. There are Scottish accent is very different from the regular British accent. It will sound like, sometimes a bit like we are speaking. I was in Scotland last April, my first time in Scotland, and I was amused to say people say words like B-U-R-N is burn in English, burn. In American English it would be burn, and in Scotland they pronounce it as burn. See, many people in India pronounce that word as burn, and we say hopeless pronunciation. Scotland is part of England, part of Great Britain or United Kingdom, and they would pronounce it as burn. See? So, and in the BBC now, there are Scottish presenters who would read out a news like that. So the world is changing. The world is changing. But still, I am not saying that you should go about saying burn and girl and world and iron. That is all okay. What we should do in this part of the world, we who had the privilege to be in a good institution, is to practice listening to English as much as possible. One thing. Do you do that? Well, in the campus, if you do a lot of talking, automatically you will do a lot of listening as well. Mutuality is there. I am talking to a friend, the friend is listening. When the friend talks, I am listening. That happens. It is fine. But what I meant was, on a regular basis, you need to listen to English, and now it's very, very easy to do that. Before, when I was a student, the only way to listen to English is to listen to English programs in the radio. And at that time in the house, there will be only one radio. And often the father will be the custodian of the radio. So my father had a big mustache. He is no more. He used to be the custodian of our radio. If I go and do something, he will find out. So he'll come back, put on the radio and find that who has been messing with this radio? The meter has changed or something, he will say. So I never had the courage to go near the radio. The second option is to watch a movie in the theater. So how many movies will you be able to watch when you are a student? It's very difficult. Now things have changed. Then the television came, certainly, a lot of changes happened. Today, you have this remarkable equipment with you, which is a mobile phone, which is the biggest learning tool. It's a big tool for entertainment. It's a big tool for wasting time. It's a big tool to look at and become worried about life. Everything is there. But if you use it for education, this is a very, very good education tool. You know this without telling me. And for learning English, this is a fantastic tool. So as I said, as I was driving today, I did not do that much because it was raining, and I thought I'll spend time with myself, my thoughts. Usually when I drive, I will be listening to some story. Recently I have been listening to P.G. Wodehouse. Have you heard of P.G. Wodehouse? P.G. Wodehouse. W-O-D-H-O-U-S-E. That's an English writer named P.G. Wodehouse who passed away long back. His stories are very funny, humorous stories. So it's light to listen to. So the last several days, whenever I drive to the university or drive to somewhere, I have been listening to that. I do that for relaxation. You should do it for relaxation, for feeling light in the mind, and also for the language aspect. If you listen to English stories, it is fun, you feel like listening, and it kind of gives you, unconsciously, it gives you a lot of language. Pronunciation will automatically come into your brain. When you listen more, the more the exact sounds you will get. Then again, there is no such thing as exact sound, but you can have an intelligible kind of pronunciation which you pick up from all over and then you develop. A good example is that you all speak you are from different parts. in different parts of Tamil Nadu, people speak different kinds of Tamil. Do you agree with me? In different parts of Tamil Nadu, maybe in Nagarkoil, Kanyakumari area, don't people speak different kinds of Tamil? They do. But when you come to the college and you want to make a speech, you will be speaking a Tamil which is a kind of mixture of all these things, plus the right kind of things. So, like in the college when I was doing my degree, I had a Tamil friend. His name is Mahadevan. He's still my friend. And once I told him, Ava irandu ponadu. So somebody died. So then he looked at me scornfully and said, I wouldn't say irandu ponadu, I would say sittu ponadu. See? So knowing what word to use in the context is very, very important. So suppose it's about a very important person. I said, Ava sattu ponadu. I don't know if it will be proper. Like, you should use a bigger word. So using the right word is very, very important. What word to use where? All these things, Tamil we know because we have been listening to it for a long time. English, we seriously have a problem with that. Even though we are good users of English, you have to use English constantly to use the appropriate word. That is where the vocabulary aspect comes in. The appropriate, what word should I use here? It's a very, very important thing. So that comes only through experience. So if you are already speaking English quite enough, you need to listen to a lot of English as well, good models of English, so that your English will improve. It's an unconscious process. That is what I was trying to tell you about grammar also in the beginning. Many teachers believe, many people believe, many trainers believe you can improve your English by teaching you a lot of grammar. You teach grammar, you will never stop teaching grammar because we will never be able to learn grammar properly. Because grammar is a different thing. It is not essentially the use part of language. Using a language is different from studying the grammar of it. Studying the grammar is good for your brain, but listening to language is good for your communication. Okay, so that's the point I'm trying to make. So, how do we improve our pronunciation? How do we improve our vocabulary? How do we know what is the right word to use where and when? This comes only through listening to things in various contexts. So what do we listen? In my university, we started first 4-year UG program. That is, we have first-year students now. We have about 300 students. So it is my job to take care of all of them. As the academic coordinator, I am taking care of all of them. They have different majors. There are 16 majors, and they are from all these 16 majors. So what I have done now is, I have told them, your English, they have English to study. 2 English courses they will be studying in the first 2 semesters. Part of the first English course, I want each of you to record 20 audios in your phone. 20 audios, 20 recordings, minimum 20 recordings of 3 to 5 minute duration. So what I have told them to, this is an idea called the audio log kind of thing. You know, you have, some people tell you to write diary. Do you keep a diary? Do you have the habit of keeping a diary? Some of you have, some of you have. It's very difficult to keep a diary because our teachers sometimes tell us, keep a diary and write something every day. You write for first day, you write 1 page. Second day, you write half a page. Third day, you don't write anything. Fourth day, oh, I did not write yesterday. You will write with difficulty 2 lines and it will stop. I have many diaries at home with only 4 pages filled. So you will also have the same experience. So it's difficult. I know it's difficult. But I would say you do it differently. You can use a diary or a notebook. Okay, diary or a notebook. You don't have to write every day. You don't have to write a long account. So you take, if you maybe weekly, at least 3 or 4 times, you take that notebook, write the date on it. So today, I'm 25/10/2024. Write 4 or 5 sentences about what you experienced that day. Nobody is going to see your diary. Nobody is going to see it. It's your property. So keep it and write. Once in a while, do this. Write 3 or 4 sentences, maybe 5 sentences about something that you think is important. Over 30 days, 60 days, you will find that your writing skills are improving very much. This is something you can silently do. In the same way, this is a log you are keeping, a diary you are keeping. You can also keep an audio log. This is, nobody will tell you. You don't have to tell anybody you're doing it. This is for improvement. But my students, I've made it part of their continuous evaluation that they should produce 20 videos and put them in a folder and share with the teachers. So because they are very lazy, I sometimes wonder what these my students like you guys have to do every day. They seem to be very busy. So most of the time they are sitting very quietly, and in the park they will be sitting, in the canteen they will be sitting. So probably they are all big philosophers. They are thinking a lot, but they don't have much to do except the class. But they don't seem to be doing it. So if I ask them to create a folder, they won't. So you are all excellent students. I'm talking about my students. Don't feel bad. So what I did is I made folders for all of them. I made folders for all of them, put them in a Google Drive and shared it. So you have a folder there, open that folder and put your recording in it. So that's a effort, minimum effort. It's working. I'm very happy to say most of the students are doing it. Now, many of them have done at least 12, 13 videos, not videos, audio. So what I do is in the phone, you have a audio recorder. Do you have audio recorders? If you haven't explored, it's there. Audio. If you don't have, you can download an audio recorder. Like Dolby is a very useful audio app. You download it and you record it. You turn it on and speak to it in English. And don't let your family see you doing it. So if your family is listening, your mother is listening and you are speaking English in the room, she will take you to the doctor and say that my daughter is talking to herself. So or either you tell your mother in advance, I may be doing this, don't ignore me, or secretly go and sit somewhere and turn on this audio and speak to your phone. It's very convenient because this phone is
Interact wisely. Try to speak in English. English is a wonderful help for you to take you to the heights. Correct? Yes. English is the easy skill you people can easily have. English is the easy skill anybody can easily have. So you can learn it very easily. For example, if there is a fan, I'll show my hand, you tell the words, okay? Louder. Rotates. Very good. Where is it rotating? Where? On the wall. Yeah. Fan is rotating on the wall. Oh, she's looking at the ceiling, no problem. Example. Microphone. Oh, okay. Microphone is, okay? In my hand. On my hand, in my hand. This is on my hand. This is in my hand. Very easy. I think they should do with the students. One of you. So here you see is a great scholar. Have you heard about VIT? Vellore Institute of Technology. Yes. One of the check. One of the reputed colleges in India where he worked as a language trainer. So his specialization is English language teaching. So English teaching is not that easy. English teaching is really difficult. You need to prepare a lot. And this gentleman spends lots of time every day preparing English stuff, English words, new vocabulary, different kinds of sentence structure for the presentation of the students. For the presentation for the students. Such a hardworking gentleman, Dr. Pranesh Kumar. Say everybody together, Dr. Pranesh Kumar. You should remember him. Last year, he published a book called Kanyakumari District, the history of Kanyakumari District. A wonderful book. I think he doesn't have a copy of it today. So, I had the pride to release his book. To receive his book. So that was a wonderful gift I had. So in his being as a HOD, in Alfonso College, so I was there meeting and talking different number of people, students especially, to enlighten them. So what kind of person he is? He invites people who are really necessary for the students. So here he is invited, who worked in VIT, Vellore Institute of Technology. He is here with his intellectual charm. Okay, shall we welcome him? We welcome you, sir. Please say that. Is there anything I should play for you? You walk and talk or?
Yeah, no, first I'll start from here.
Then you can listen. Is there anything to play down?
No, they got it. Good afternoon. So, you're happy and comfortable? Okay, so happiness and all other good things are contagious. So please do share it with me. For me, I'll get a full fledged of energy and I'll also gain confidence only when I see these seats being filled. So to help me, some people who are out there or towards the last rows, maybe you can occupy these 3 rows and fill it up. And even there, these rows can be filled. Last 2 rows. Good, good. Yeah, make it fast. Yeah, students, your attention, please. Make it fast. How many of you want to be successful in your life? Others? Yeah, good. Put your hands down. See, just when I asked you how many of you want to be successful in your life, not everybody raised your hands. Initially 1, 2, 3, and the same thing. When I asked people to come forward, there was an inhibition, but 1 or 2 people who dared to do it first. Okay. And is by raising your hands or by getting up and then walking towards the front row, people who attempted to do it first, they are going to be successful in their life. I am not telling this. There is a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen Covey, a book which I read some 3-4 years back. So there are 7 qualities, of which the first quality is being proactive. Being proactive in the sense, somebody is telling something and you react, immediately you do that. How many of you, and sometimes you ask, how many of you want to be successful in your life, and people are looking at others. Is she raising her hand? So I will also. Have you heard of this saying that life begins at the end of your comfort zone? Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. கேட்டிருக்கீங்களா? கேட்டிருக்கீங்க? Yes or no? Okay, fine, good. And if you keep on doing what you have done, you will get only what you have got. If you keep on doing what you have done, you will get only what you have got. So, you must be doing so many things. Now, by now you are doing so many things, you are learning, and some of you are nursing college, right? And arts college. So whatever it be, the world is highly competitive, and in any profession for that matter, if you want to mark your presence, you have to be physically fit, you have to have sound communication skills, you should know how to interact with people, you should know the basic and the updated version of what is there in your field. Am I right? So with that context in mind, I am asking you, if you keep on doing what you have done, you will get only what you have got. You, majority of you, all of you told that you want to be successful in your life, right? So ask yourself, the things that you are doing now, within your comfort zone, not for all, but at least for some, will it take you to your target? See, when it comes to nursing, I know, most of the people, what they do is that at the end of the course, your main target will be Denmark. Then, am I right? Denmark, then? Huh? 15, what is that? Oh, that's surprising to me. No, to move abroad. UK, Middle East, Canada, Denmark, Germany. For which, what you need is an IELTS score. Am I right? And guys, I think I forgot about you people. From arts college, see, you know the current competition, the trend, unless and until you are competent enough, not only in terms of academic proficiency, but also in other forms of communication skills, you are not going to reach where you are supposed to reach. So it's high time, and communication and language is nothing but a skill. A skill is something which you don't work over a period of time, it gets depleted. Language is not a knowledge, it's only a skill. Do you agree with me? It's only a skill. And nobody, even including me, I'm not going to boast here that I can speak well. No, because language is evolving over a period of time. Jargon words, earlier they used to say that every 10 years. Now it is not like that because of the advance of technology. Maybe every 2 years you can say. New words, new terminologies, new expressions. If you don't update yourself, gone. A skill like swimming, playing a piano, driving a car, if you don't do it over a period of time, what will happen? Now I can't do that. The same is applicable to language. That's why in most of the institutions, they insist on speaking English inside the campus. The management can only tell. We have to practice. Okay. Finally, when the course is over, when people go for an interview, then what do you guys said? You have some of the fake senders where you go and you don't believe the teachers. There is an irony these days. They don't believe the teachers. But some fake institutions, there are institutions where the open hoardings they are writing. We write research papers. We write research papers. And our students, they don't believe the teachers or the institution. They go to the centers and seek help, and I don't know what they get in return. Simultaneously, there are also centers which will give you promises telling that we will make you speak English in this many days. I don't know. I cannot do that without the cooperation of the student. I'm not a magician. I don't have a magic wand. See, imagine I tell you that in 5 days I can make you speak good English. Without your cooperation, can I achieve that? No, I can't. So as adults, it is your responsibility to take in charge of your learning. In school days, maybe you have teachers who will come and say, see, you have to score better, do that, do this. But now it is not like that. And your language also reflects your personality. Personality cannot be built overnight or in a week's time. Your language reflects who you are all the time. The choice of words. Unfortunately or fortunately, we are not urban dwellers. A student who is doing his studies in Chennai or Bangalore have number of access. The society compels them to speak in English. During the weekends, they go to the mall or a cinema theater. They have no other choice but to speak in English. If they want to place some order, they will speak. But can you go and apply the same logic in our streets? Even inside the classes, sometimes no, I should be cautious about my language. Or else I give an activity to the student in the language lab, and after some time, the student come and ask, Sir, neenga sonnadhu enakku puriyala, adha Tamil la sollunga. I should be very careful. Now, if I try detailing everything in Tamil, I will lose my language. Because what did I tell you? Language is a skill. If I don't use it in the right time, at the right place, if I don't practice myself, okay, it is going to get depleted. So this so happened to me, like once I did my MA and MPhil in Chennai, at Presidency College, Chennai. So after 5-6 years, when I came back to my native place, this is an example to tell you how society is influencing your language. I went to a shop which was familiar to me, and I asked the person, this happened in 2000, I may look young, but I'm not, I'm old, okay. So this happened in 2004-05. I went to a shop and asked for a matchbox. The person was staring at me. Repeatedly, I was repeating the same thing, matchbox, matchbox. And then I was using sign language, matchbox, matchbox. This fellow, he was staring at me in my village. Later I understood that I am not in Chennai anymore. Tipatti. Okay. So this is how society will influence you. But now we have to create an ambience where we will speak, and for which the technology will help you. That's an option which people like us during your days we did not have. For us, we relied only on the teacher. The teacher talk was the prime source of our input. If the teacher is committing a mistake in pronouncing a particular word, we have no other choice. We will also do that. But because of the advance of technology, these days, you people have, like, I don't know what kind of stuff you are watching in your mobile. How many of you have heard of this thing called TED Talks? TED Talks, put your hands up. If you know that, you be proud of that. TED Talks. I'm not asking how many of you have participated. Good number of people we have. Okay. Others note it down. TEDTALKS. TED Talks. How many of you listen to English music? Beautiful. Put your hands down. Put your hands down. Now we are also going to have an activity here where you will be listening to the music and then scripting the lyrics. Okay. Yeah. Now, can you move that slides? Yeah. Before getting into this slide, see, the slide says that we are designed to walk that we are taught to walk is impossible, and pretty much the same is true of language. Nobody is taught language. In fact, you can't prevent the child from learning it. It's a quote by Noam Chomsky, who is a linguist. A linguist is somebody who works on language. So this is what the quote has to say. Like any person for that matter, your brain is pre-wired in such a way that you cannot escape learning a language. And especially the best time to learn a language is at this age, when you are adults, when you are young. And there are studies show that, see, once you attain after puberty, there is a concept called brain plasticity, where the ability of brain to learn new things will get decreased over a period of time. And the same is applicable to language. The best example would be, you might have seen from among your relatives, families migrating to US or UK. And after 5-6 years, when they come back, the little kids will speak beautiful English. Have you seen that? Like native speakers. Better than their parents. Better than their parents. The parents will speak good English with fluency, but not accuracy that equal to the kids. Why? Because they were exposed to the language later. These kids were exposed to the language at the early stages. So this particular time for you is the right time to enhance this communication skills. And as I told you, during our times we were limited only to the teacher talk. Today you have input through, like majority of you told that you were listening to English music. That's a good thing. Watching movies is a good thing. Because we have to go and in search of these kind of activities to increase our input in the target language. As I told you, we are not urban dwellers. We are living in a place where accidentally, if you slip out of the campus, you will rarely meet people who communicate with you in English, and the kind of Tamil that we speak also, you know. Clear? And see, nobody is taught language. In fact, you can't prevent the child from learning it. The person who wrote this quote also says that you have something in your brain called LAD, L-A-D, language acquisition device. Even a child who is deaf or dumb attempts to communicate something. Right from the early birth of the child, where the child utters one word, two words, babbling, crying, cooing, to grab the attention of the mother, then slowly starts speaking with the help of mother is a concept, nothing but the mother will be repeating the same word 50, mother or the caretaker or sometimes the grandparents. Have you seen how they make the kids speak one word? Some 50, 100 times they will be looking at the child and they will be repeating. And finally, when the child speaks there, the happiness is like can't be expressed in words. But can you expect the same thing happening in an English language classroom? Can you expect a teacher to come to you and repeat one word 15, 20 or 100 times? That is acquiring. A child learns his mother tongue by acquiring the language. Acquiring is another. No conscious effort. Unconsciously it is learning. But you are bothered about your surroundings. What if I do a mistake? What if people laugh at me? And some strange reasons people give. When I ask people to speak, I am not from an English medium background. That cannot be an excuse. Apart from this, now I want to listen from you. What are the things that are stopping you from speaking good English? Tell me a few things that are stopping you from speaking good English. Inhibition. இப்ப நான் சொன்ன அதுல ஏதாவது தப்பு இருக்குமோ சார்? What is that? You try to tell something. Lack of vocabulary, beautiful. That's one strong reason. Then, grammar mistakes. Grammar mistakes. So we'll wait for a day where we learn all the grammar rules and then we will start speaking in English. If I have taken that decision, definitely today I will not be here. Do you think that I can recall all the grammatical rules? No. No. Grammar mistakes, vocabulary, of course, vocabulary. Words are beads in the garden of, words are beads that can create the garland of language. Words are important. Then what are the other reasons that are stopping you from speaking good English? From lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. Then lack of practice. Beautiful. Students are communicating. This is what I expected. Then what else? From boys' side. Fear. Fear of committing mistakes, fear of being insulted in front of students. What else? They have decided not to speak. Something, tell me something. What is stopping you from speaking good English? Difficulty in constructing sentences. See, these are problems that are common to all. This can happen when you are speaking your mother tongue too. Am I right? But the thing is that you have to try, attempt, keep on moving forward. Slides. Is the audio? Play it. At the bottom. No issues. See, this is what happens when there is miscommunication. I don't know how many of you will enjoy this joke. It's an old video, but I found it really effective. A perfect example of miscommunication. Okay, before they get it right, I'll ask you something. How many alphabets are there in English? Are you sure? Are you sure? 26, right? Any different answer? My question is, how many alphabets are there in English? 7. How many alphabets are there in English? Ma'am has something to say. 1. She is right. The answer is 1. If I would have asked you how many letters are there in English alphabet, then the answer is right. 20? 26. 26. See, alphabets is nothing but, if you refer to the dictionary, you will get it. Set of letters used to comprehend any language. English has only one set as such. A to Z. And on a lighter note, when we were students, there was only 25 letters in English alphabets. Nobody knew why. Do you know? When we were students, there were only 25 letters in the alphabet. Nobody knew why. What must be the reason? Listen carefully. Listen carefully. When we were students, there were only 25 letters in the alphabet. Nobody knew why. Nobody knew why. Now you know why, so it becomes 26. Okay. So back to the slide.
Good, send her in.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. President.
Oh, Condoleezza, nice to see you. What's happening?
Well, Mr. President, I have the report here about the new leader in China.
Great, Condi, lay it on me.
Mr. President, who is the new leader of China?
Well, that's what I want to know.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, Mr. President.
Well, that's what I'm asking you, Condi. Who is the new leader of China?
Yes.
I mean the feller's name.
Hugh.
The guy in China.
Hugh.
The new leader of China.
Hugh.
The Chinaman.
Hugh is leading China, Mr. President.
What are you asking me for?
I'm telling you, Hugh is leading China.
Well, I'm asking you, Condi, who is leading China?
That's the man's name.
That's whose name?
Yes.
Will you or will you not tell me the name of the new leader of China?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Arafat is in China. I thought he was in the Middle East.
That's correct, sir.
Then who's in China?
Yes, sir.
Yasser's in China?
No, sir.
Then who is?
Yes, sir.
Yasser?
No, sir.
Connie, you're starting to piss me off now, and it's not because you're black, neither. I need to know the name of the new leader of China, so I want you to get me the Secretary General of the United Nations on the phone.
Coffee, Annan?
No, thanks. And Condi, call me George. Stop with that Ebonics crap.
You want coffee?
No.
You don't want coffee?
No, but now you mention it, I could use a glass of milk. And then get me the UN.
Yes, sir.
Not Yasser, the guy at the United Nations.
Coffee.
Milk! Will you please make that call?
And call who?
Well, who's the guy at the UN?
No, who is the guy in China?
Will you stay out of China?
Yes, sir.
And stay out of the Middle East. Just get me the guy at the UN.
Coffee.
All right, with cream and 2 sugars. Now get on the phone.
Hello. Rice here.
Rice, good idea. And get a couple of egg rolls, too, Condi. Maybe we should send some to the guy in China and the Middle East. Can you get Chinese food in the Middle East? I don't know.
So, nice that you enjoyed it, because see, I'm happy to see when you enjoy the joke, because what they say is, if you are competent in a language, it can be understood by the way you enjoy the jokes in that particular language. And how many of you like mathematics? Good, there are people. But for me, there was a time when I realized that Maths is not my cup of tea, and I shifted my focus to English language. You will enjoy this joke if I tell you. I don't forget anything that my Maths teacher told me. And some people, they are fortunate to have good Maths teachers. So they love maths, but I was not that fortunate. A week back, when I was placing order in a hotel, I told you I don't forget what my teachers told me. I asked for mutton, okay, and then I was asking what are the other recipes. Then I asked him, do you have brain? And he was staring at me, brain. Yes, peppered mutton brain fry. And after the guy left, I remembered the same expression I have heard somewhere. Do you know who asked me that? My maths teacher asked me, do you have brain? Not like this. The way she asked me or ask anyone would make them feel as if they don't have this thing at all. Do you have brain? That's how she asked. And my confusion with my maths teacher ended when I became outstanding in mathematics. Yes, she made me stand outside the classroom for a couple of days. And that continued for some time. And it was not over. It was not over. I was wondering at her problems. See, unnecessarily there are people who will buy 50 bananas, 80 apples. I was wondering, what is the problem? What's going on here? And one such problem is like this. A train traveling at a speed of 120 km per hour from east to west. Okay. Another train traveling at a speed of 150 km from west to east. How many minutes will it take for both the train to intersect? You have to find it. But some good students, there are some people are very smart in mathematics. They just write the formula, they find. My problem is that when I hear this question, I will be visualizing things and I will be traveling in the train. The color of the train, the feel that you get when two trains intersect. And finally, at some point of time, my maths teacher's chalk piece will knock me down. At that time, which station it is? So again, you can associate this with the concept of right brain and left brain, where one is with regard to your arithmetic skill and the other is your creative skill. I was good at the other one, the creative thing. And my father used to say, not all problems have solutions. But when the problem itself is not clear, what shall we do? During my 10th maths class, there was one problem like this. A tank with a length of 1.5 meter, okay, and breadth of 1 meter. Can you visualize that? Can you visualize that? If you can visualize that, then you are like me. You are with me. Okay. But some of my friends, and it is not over. There is a pipe connected to the tank. The radius of the pipe is 3 centimeters. Radius they will give. Diameter and area you have to find out. Okay. Water is flowing into this tank through that pipe at a speed of some data. Clear? Do you think the problem is over there? There is a leak in the tank through which water is flowing out at a speed of some seconds. Okay. How many minutes will it take for the tank to be full? Before the teachers could complete the problem, there are students who can shout out the answers. But do you think that is the real solution? I visualized and got the real answer. Do you know what is the real answer? I was thinking about the person who plastered the tank. If he would have plastered it properly, the problem itself would not have come. He is the culprit. He should be fired. But my maths teacher keeps on firing me all the time. But anyway, later, I understood that because of all this confusion, I shifted to English. Where in English, even if people suffered, they suffered in beautiful languages. So I opted for English. But now as an English teacher, I have a problem. A serious problem. My problem is that I cannot tolerate mistakes. Mistakes cannot be tolerated. Once a student approached me and asked me, sir, can I go to the bathroom? Okay. I very politely told the student, I don't know if you can. What is the problem here? See, it should be placed like, may I? May I? Can I? I don't know if you can. That's what I told. But sometimes no, students turn out to be too smart. Sometimes students turn out to be too smart. Once I asked a student, is trousers singular or plural? Okay. He should have told either singular or plural. I would have corrected him. He's telling me, sir, singular at the top and plural at the bottom. Okay. So from that, again, the point is my problem of not able to tolerate mistakes. One day I was traveling all the way from my college back to my home. Ahead of me there was an auto. Behind the auto, a beautiful symbol of a heart with an arrow, and it was written, love is blind. P. Okay. Blind. How can I tolerate this as an English teacher? This really happened, I'm not exaggerating. I overtook the auto, stopped him, and politely told him, see, there's an error. அது வந்து P இல்ல, அது B. Do you know what that fellow told me? விடுங்க சார், ஒரு லெட்டர் தானே. But I did not give up. Once I went to a market and I was walking back. A new hotel was getting inaugurated. The hoarding of the hotel was there. And below the hoarding, a tagline was written. You know, it read like this. We serve your better. We serve your better. We serve your better. How it should be written? We serve you better. This time no, I did not give up. I mustered some courage. I told that I have to meet the manager or somebody who is in charge of this. I told, sir, it may be one letter, but the meaning gives a different interpretation. Your better means your wife. Okay. So thank God, next day the hoarding was removed. Okay. That letter was removed. We serve you better, it was there. This thing did not stop here. My ability to, or my problem with handling mistakes. My wife, today, now she's my wife, and when she was my fiancée, she texted me for the first time. With all the liking she had for me, the message read like this. Did you like me? Okay. I replied, do you? It's do you like me? And you have not ended your question with a question tag. Okay. No reply for 3 weeks. See, how language is influencing your personal life, you have to see. But these days, no, it is very easy because most of the people, they have identified my problem and they deal with me. Some faculty members, the places where I work, especially from other departments, they have stopped speaking to me. If they see me on the veranda, they'll take the other way. And some way they have to bring their letter to me to get signature. So from where I will spot something, give it back. So I was criticizing my maths teacher for her problems. Today for my problem, I don't know where I get the solution. And I think if English teachers are around, they can relate with this problem. Okay. Now coming back to our session from my, so this one, are you able to understand the joke here? Nursing, okay, beautiful. Okay. See, why I'm insisting on the jokes is that, do you know when you become confident, or when you have command over a particular language, it's when you are able to enjoy the jokes in that particular language. When you watch a movie, that's very true. My mother tongue is Tamil. My wife speaks Malayalam. So after the marriage, when both of us were watching movies together, especially Tamil movies, Initially she was not able to enjoy the jokes. But as days went by, 6-7 years, so that's it. So if you are able to enjoy the jokes in a particular language, it means that you have control or command over that language. Next. Yeah, right from your school days, you must be listening to some of these, expressions on, definitions on communication. And my favorite one is the second one. The simple process of getting information known by one person to the attention of the other people who should have this information. It's simple. Just because somebody is having good communication skill, he should not be in a position just to show off. Sometimes people speak and at the end of the day they'll ask, enna pesnaru? English nalla pesnaru. Enna pesnaru? Adu puriyala. Puriyalena, it is not a good talk. The purpose of communication is to convey a message so that the other person should be able to comprehend. But most of the time that doesn't happen. People who have command over the language, they put other people down. I remember when my sister was doing her higher secondary in Chennai, some of her friends, girls, they were having a discussion and I was watching that. One girl, she was not that sound at her communication skill. And this particular girl wanted to put her down. And so she went and asked her, where do you put up? Where are you coming from in Sulinda? She would have understood. Where do you put up? The other girl, she was, Puriyada English. Puriyada. But see, native speakers, they never do this. They know that the purpose of a language is to convey a message. So you have to encode a message in such a way that for the decoder it is easy. Clear? See, imagine you are standing there, which is close to that bus stop. A native speaker is coming to you. A foreigner is coming to you. And he is asking you, can you tell me the way to St. Xavier's College of Engineering? That's how they ask. Okay. And by the way you stare, they will understand that, okay, this person does not understand what I am telling. So, what will he do? He will simplify the language. What will he do? He'll say, the way. St. Xavier's College, the way, the verb and the noun they are highlighting. They are repeating it. Then you understand, okay, the way, St. Xavier's College, take this way, right, and then the college is there. Okay. And these people, they never use their language to put others down. And to speak better English, you have to come out of your comfort zone. Birds of the same feather flock together. In colleges, what they do? This area, students, they will be in a gang. Always identify people who can speak English better than you. There is a concept called I+1. The linguistics concept. Natural approach. Stephen Creation, I remember, he coined this term. I+1. I means your current level of language competence. என்ன விட நல்லா இங்கிலீஷ் பேசுறா, அவள்கிட்ட சேர மாட்டேன்னு இல்லை, அவங்க கிட்ட தான் சேரணும். Okay, people whom you think can speak English better than you, so that your level at I, something you add from that person's communication skill become +1. Okay, you are moving to next level. Not I+0. I+2 also will not be comfortable. Sometimes you are not able to comprehend what the other person is saying. Then English எனக்கு புரியல அப்படி இல்ல. The next level, then the next level, then the next level. If you do that, if your competence level in English is at 40%, when you complete the course, it becomes some 60, 70 or 80%. If you enter the course with your competence level as 70%, some 80 to 90%. But that cannot happen with without the cooperation of the students. You have to take steps. You have a mobile phone. There are also apps through which you can communicate. How many of you are aware of this? Audiobooks. Audiobooks. Beautiful, beautiful. 1, 2. Put your hands. See, when you know something, be happy about that. Be proud of that. Put your hands like this. Audiobooks, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands down. Can you brief what is that? Tell what is an audiobook.
Book FM. It is an audio book. I used storytelling books. It is in the phone. We can hear some stories.
Yeah, see, she was briefing another version of audiobooks. But audiobooks, apart from that, it will help you enhance your communication skills, speaking skills too. What it does is that, see, any book for that matter, book of any genre, personality development or whatever it be, these days when you purchase via Amazon, you will get the CD version of the book, audio version of the book. The file can be copied to your mobile phone, iPod or whatever it be, where a native speaker will be reading, you need not read the book. You just open the book from page 1 to the last page, somebody will be reading. Most of the time a native speaker will be reading the book. You just listen. When you do that, your listening skill is getting enhanced. You know how to pronounce a particular word, how to pause when something very serious is being discussed, how to lower your voice, okay? Or when there is a question tag at the end, how to raise your tone. All these things naturally you will come to know when you are listening. You are not putting any effort. And this anybody can do, because now all of you have your mobile phones, right? You can copy that audio file, put it in your, stuff it in your ears, and then look at the book. Somebody will be reading it for you. Next. See, we speak about, when we speak about communication, we speak about verbal, non-verbal and para-verbal. Verbal, all of you will be familiar with. Any kind of communication, like when I speak, you are listening. Some of you are listening, not everybody. Some of you are listening. All are listening, right? Yes. Yes, majority being girls, I believe. I'll tell you why. See, when I say some books, no, you people note it down. Note it down. There is one book called, especially people of your age will like it. Why men don't listen? Why men don't listen? And women can't read maps. Why men don't listen and women can't read maps? See, the author of the book is Alan Pease and Barbara Pease. Husband and wife. Alan Pease and Barbara Pease. Earlier I told you a concept, right? Because you are girls, I believe. Women can multitask. In a classroom, when the teacher is engaging the class, if a girl student is not looking at the teacher, 80% of the time she must be listening to the teacher. But if a boy is not looking at the teacher, only 50% chances that he is listening. Why? Because men cannot multitask. Men are poor at multitasking. Now, in another classroom, no, when I was telling this, one boy told me, yes sir, you are right. That's why girls are able to text multiple people at the same time. I don't know, I did not know that. Okay. Multitasking, men are not good at multitasking. Men can do only one task at a time. A married people, they know, see, even it happens to me. Like I will be driving, my wife will be speaking something. I will be looking at her and telling, can't you see that I am driving? And she will be wondering, of course you are driving with your hands, your ears are free, right? Then why can't you listen? That is how women think. See, the thinking itself is different for men and women. You have to understand. If you read this book, half of the misunderstanding that happens to you with the opposite sex will be solved. If you read this book. Men, when they drive, they pay all attention to that task when they are doing a work. They cannot divert. Women, they are not like that. The beautiful, one example he has given in that book. The toothbrush experiment. Morning, if you have elderly people, your grandmother or sister at home, what they do is that just by brushing the teeth with one hand, they will be doing all the household activities in the other hand. But men, have you seen them doing that? They will not do. They will stand in one place and they will be brushing. The toothbrush experiment. Okay. So men cannot multitask. And men have tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is, if I want to see what is happening here, I have to look here. By looking here, I don't know what is happening there. Then I have to turn here. But my dear guys, women, if they walk like this, they know what is happening here and they also know what is happening. Okay. Because they have broad vision. I am not telling this. Alan Peace and do you agree with me? Yes, they do agree with us. That's why guys often get caught ogling. Ogling na enadhu? Vai paakran solluvaanga. We don't have any other choice. We should turn our head to know what is happening there. Okay. And if I give you one or two examples from this book, definitely you will buy this book. At least, in some of the places I have told examples from this book and people purchased the book, read it and then told me, sir, this is really interesting. This is really interesting. What is happening in the minds of these people. Okay. And let me recall one more example from the book. Yeah, mind map. Mind map. The second title of the book is Why men don't listen. Men are poor listeners. If somebody is listening to you, they are pretending. Men want to be listened. Naam pesuve nee kekkanum. Okay. Men, no, they are poor listeners. And what is the second title of the book? And women can't read maps. Okay. It is being told that, of course, I am not against it. It's a stereotype opinion. It is not applicable to all. Majority of the women, like when you see the plan of a building, men can easily visualize the 3D image of the building. Easily visualize. Okay, the mind map. And that's true. Sometimes when I take my sister somewhere earlier, I'll be taking her to her friend's home where she might have gone multiple times. I'll be taking by my vehicle and I'll ask which route to take. Idu maadiri irukku, inda roda anda roda. I'll be wondering, see, you have come here some almost 20-30 times, but you don't know the way. But men are not like that. Men have strong, what is that? Mind map. 5 times they go somewhere, 6th time they will say, idhukku sutti ponom, ipdiye pona polame, we will take the shortcut. Men do that. Okay. So, verbal, coming back to our slides. So, how many of you have decided to purchase this book? Beautiful, beautiful, nice. From that side, yeah, good. We have people. And verbal, any kind of communication, like how I speak to you, how you read from a book and interpret, when you write something, when you write a letter, everything you can place under verbal. And non-verbal is quite interesting, where these days, more than your verbal, all your body movements convey some message to the listener. What message? You can broadly classify it into 5 types. Write it down. Gestures, Gestures, gestures. Posture, Posture, posture. Eye contact. Facial expression. Touch. The last one is touch. What do you mean by gesture? Hand gestures. Hand gestures. When I stay here and when I communicate to you, the kind of expressions that I am using to convey message, my hand gesture should sync with my message. Okay. And one important thing about gesture is that This is told by one of the body language expert. The only organ in your body which has umpty number of neural connections with your brain is nothing but your palm. The only organ in your body which has umpty number of neural connections with your brain is nothing but your palm. That's why anything that you do, a skill, like you're learning to drive a car, play a piano, another musical instrument, or whatever it be, or typing, first you think the message is passed through your palm, the palm of your hands. So any gesture, sometimes even without a word you can communicate via gestures. When you say this, it means something. When you say this, it means something. And what I do is that as language trainer, sometimes when I make students to come front and speak, I always tell them, the way you come and stand here says it all. Sometimes what they do is that when they come here, they scratch their head and come, which means I am not interested. This fellow has no other task he is asking me to. It is conveyed. And self-touching gesture, self-comfort gesture. So you're not supposed to touch your, like rubbing your hands when you are speaking on stage. You're not supposed to touch your cheek, or sometimes covering your neck. That is the negative gesture, like you're scared, and that you're revealing to the audience. Okay, don't do that. So gestures, use gestures. See, you should have confidence to show open palm gesture. Not always, whenever it is applicable. Imagine I stay here like this stiff, not spreading myself, and I am telling I am very happy to stand in front of you and speaking. So it won't be nice. It won't be nice. You won't listen to me for maybe for more than 5 minutes if I do that. And if you have stage fear, like when you sweat or shiver or whatever it be at the initial stages, it is always advisable that you use gestures. When you try using gestures, half of your stage fear will come down. Clear? So that's gestures. And what's the second one? Posture. What do you mean by posture? The way you sit, the way you stand, the way you carry yourself. Maybe you can, if you have money, you can buy costly attire. But if you don't have a good posture, and if you cannot handle it properly, gone. And all these skills which I told you, like excluding the posture, gesture, facial expression, I can teach you overnight, and maybe like during a short span of time, I can train you. But when it comes to posture, you should be physically fit. Physical fitness is important. Okay, to carry yourself confidently, for which it will take some time. Not going to the gym or the ground. If you are not able to do that, maybe meditation, yoga, something to keep yourself physically fit. And posture, if I tell you this example, you will never forget the importance of posture. See, sometimes I see students with the mobile phone speaking for a long time, staying away in a corner close to a tree or a garden or wherever it be where there are no people. They say 5 minutes, but they will speak for some time, hours together. And when they come back, you ask them, "Yaarta pesittu irundinga?" They will say, "Appa, Amma." You know it's a lie. How do you know that it's a lie? Posture. Posture. See, if I receive a call from my authority, from the college where I am working, my HOD or my principal, if they call me, how do I attend? I'll say, "Hold on 1 minute." I say that, right? And instead, if I receive a call from my wife or any family member, a bit relaxed. Actually, I may not attend the call because you are more important now. But still, if I am receiving the call, what do I say? A bit relaxed. "Yeah, I am in a meeting, I'll call you." But if you see me scratching on the chair, scratching my foot, scratching on the wall, plucking the leaves, what do you understand? You don't listen anything. See, you did not hear what I am speaking. But I am doing all these things. Okay, kicking the soil, everything I am doing with my mobile phone. You can pretty well guess to whom I am talking. Okay, so that is the power of posture. Then you have eye contact. A lack of eye contact, what does it say? A lack of lack of confidence. Beautiful. Lack of confidence, then lack of eye contact, lack of confidence, fear, lie. Beautiful. Yeah, lie. Then not trustworthy. All these things it conveys. See, one more thing at this point of time I'd like to remind you, this majority of this
So, how did you enjoy Dr. Pranay's session? Very useful. So, what is the one point you learned today from Sir's class session? I want only one word. One word.
Listening is a
Now, give a clap to her, please. One word you say about what you learned. One word you remember.
skill.
Oh, she also says listening. One word you say about what you were listening today.
Language is a skill.
Language is a skill. Please clap to her. Very good. One something like
Communication.
communication. One more.
To maintain eye-to-eye contact.
To maintain eye-to-eye contact. Such an experienced person with eye-to-eye contact. Okay, nice. So wonderful. Lovely. This is how Dr. Pranay makes people very active. He is known for teaching English language. So an expert. He has served VIT for many years. He has got his own reputation. He is an author. We love him.